down, got worse, then got back to where they started. Pretty much across the board. S&P's down 0.5%, Dow about 0.5%, NASDAQ a little over 0.5%. And then the Russell, it was trying so hard to catch up. And then just kind of got tripped, down 1.15. Oil was down 3% at one point, but is still down 2%. What's the news? So we had, I don't know why, I've been thinking this whole time that the ADP private payrolls announcement's coming out today, but it's got pushed from the holiday to tomorrow. But we did get employment information, which was favorable. Very, very favorable. If you look here, we were expecting job openings to drop from 9.7 to 9.5. And all of a sudden, there's an extra 600,000 jobs out there. 600,000. Woo! So the employment market still looks good, which to me, if you remember, we had a criteria. And I said, if the PCE inflationary data last week comes back at or a little above, even if it's just slightly below, I'm going to move from the maybe they'll pause in June, the Fed, to they're going to raise it 0.25 point. And it came back a little worse than expected. And to me, I'm like, oh, yeah, there's too many of them who are talking about not really needing much of a reason. Although, as I look at this, there's 2 officials suggest a pause is coming in June. I don't see that happening now. The jobs is so strong, right? 600,000 more jobs than they thought. We'll get ADP numbers tomorrow. We'll get Department of Labor non-farm payroll numbers on Friday. Yeah, I think it's 0.25 point, and I think it's fine, but it could put additional stress on the financial markets. So strong jobs data, looming debt ceiling vote. So I think it's so funny. They're like, there's a deal. There's a deal. That's a deal? I would say that's a gentleman's agreement, and I'm not sure the quality of the gentleman involved. That's a handshake deal. Until there's a vote and it's passed, we don't have anything. We have talks and we have terms, but until they vote, there's no deal. Thank you, Fred. I am very proud. She probably takes after her mother. I can tell you this. I did not graduate with those kinds of honor. My claim to fame was probably the most number of absences, yet still graduating high school. That was more my style. Oh, she's way better than I ever was. That's for sure. Oh goodness. I try not to tell too many stories. I was a bit of a troublemaker back in my high school days. I know you're all thinking, what? No way. We can't see it, Scott. You were a straight shooter. But I caught up afterwards. I caught up eventually. How about that? What else do we know? That's really about it. We're playing the hurry up and wait for Congress to do its thing. Wall Street suddenly gets more bullish. That's just false. We've been bullish for plenty of time. I don't know what they mean suddenly. But like I've said, if you only are getting bullish when you see it here, we're late. You're late. You should have been bullish already prior to this. So this is interesting. Just 5 stocks, including NVIDIA, account for 96% of the S&P's 500 gains this year. That's very narrow. I bet we're watching them all. I've got to think that Apple and Microsoft might be on there. Let's see who's on the list. Apple, Microsoft, Google, Alphabet, Amazon, and NVIDIA. We are watching all of those and have been trading all of those. Yeah, okay. Again, it's always nice to get confirmation that we've already been doing the right thing. Already. There's nothing new in any of this for us. But it does sort of just show us what's going on. We need the vote. We're closer and closer at this point. I believe it's the 16th and the 17th. Can someone confirm for me, FOMC? I think we've got 2 weeks from, I think it's 3 weeks from today. Maybe it's not. Sorry, no. The 4th, maybe it's the 13th and the 14th. Is it the 13th? I think we're 2 weeks away. So we're getting closer and closer to seeing that. And that's really about all we have by way of news. Let's jump in. IBM plans to replace nearly 8,000 jobs with AI. Interesting. I mean, you still need the way I heard it was this. You're not as concerned with AI taking your job as you are with somebody who knows how to use AI taking your job. Someone's got to run it still, right? AI can't just ask itself questions and solve problems. Thank you, Phil. He confirmed FOMC 13th, 14th, 2 weeks from today. So we're getting closer and closer. Obviously, jobs information tomorrow and Friday. If it comes back at or better than expected, I mean, I'm at 90% for the rate hike now. If we get at or better than expectations for jobs report, I'm kicking the needle to 100%. I just don't see any reason why there wouldn't be. So there's the news. Let's take a look at the calendar. We said already, interesting with the number of jobs. Jefferson speaks. I don't know what he said. Beige book got released an hour 15 ago. Not much there. Tomorrow morning, ADP, expecting it to drop. I would not be surprised to see 250 or more. If there's 250 or more, that lends itself to increased rates. Manufacturing data comes out tomorrow. Then we have the Department of Labor also looking for about 180, 188. Looking at a possible uptick. Again, I'm not going to be shocked if we end up putting out to over 250. And that would be a push for the Fed to move. You can see hourly wages year over year. They're growing, just not as fast as inflation did temporarily. Now, inflation's down around 4. So at this point, if wages continue to grow at this rate, then we are growing faster than inflation. But we certainly had a rough period. Okay. Next week, really pretty light. Factory orders, not much. Nothing Tuesday. Trade deficit, nothing really there. Thursday, jobless claims. Friday, nothing. And then that kicks us into the Fed week. Let's see how Stella sees it. Not surprisingly, somewhat neutral, possibly seeing a pullback, possibly bouncing out of that, but overall, mostly sideways to slightly bullish. I am sideways to slightly bullish. My market posture stayed the same. I'll tell you where my concern is, and this is interesting, and we're going to talk about it. My concern is the VIX. It is holding on to fear and possibly giving us a higher low, which would be a hedge signal, right? I have bullish trades on. I'm assuming you guys do too. I've been managing by taking profits, moving stops, but I still have bullish trades on. So if anything, my thought process is I need to be ready to put a hedge on and give me some balance in case all of a sudden that debt could it get yanked? Could the rug get yanked out from underneath this debt ceiling deal? Of course, especially since Yellen's like, you know what? I ran some numbers. We actually have until, did she say the 5th or the 6th? I thought she said June 6th. Instead of the 1st, the deadline was tomorrow. But we got 5 extra days. 5 days before we run out of money, apparently. So, yes, there you go. All right. There is the S&P. Let's take a look at QQQ. QQQ. Still bullish. A mild consolidation followed by a bounce. That is also in line with what we have been seeing and talking about, because there is clearly the NASDAQ is leading the way, right? Clearly the NASDAQ has been leading. Everything that we've been doing has been primarily focused on that. And this shows more of the same. Great. Nothing's changed for us as far as that goes. Here is the Dow, which has been lagging, and we would expect probably more of the same, and that's what we're seeing. There's not the defensive segments of the market, the Dow, consumer staples, utilities, none of that looks very good right now. The inflationary data, energy, basic materials, none of that looks very good right now. So a lot of the obstacles that have been in our way are certainly moving out and presenting more opportunity, as it were. And the other laggard of our group is the small caps. They have tried to show a little something. Yeah, you can see it's just not there. There's a lot of sideways. Yeah, not much you can do with it. Today's heat map. So the chips are giving it back, which is fine. They were overextended. We weren't looking to put trades on. Well, I'm looking for these things to come back into favor. Although Intel must have reported earnings because they are smashing higher today. Let's take a look if we can. INTC. Oh, it wasn't. They're just playing catch up. You can see that this is really, for me, this is the first sign of like, oh, look at that. Intel's still alive. It finally broke that consolidation with volume. Okay. If it stalls and comes back down to 30, maybe there's a trade there, right? Okay. For the most part, our chip stocks have been, our chip stocks have been, where, let me get to my watch list, NVDA, AMD, and even a bit of ADI, but I think we got rid of that one. No, it's still there. Okay. Okay. Yes. Did I get through everything? Sorry. Apple looks pretty good. So healthcare's got a little bit of strength. So now what? Now all of a sudden today, when the market's down a little bit, we did get our first taste of some defensiveness. Utilities, green. Consumer defensive, green. Healthcare, green. What's red? You know, most of technology, not Apple, but most of the technology. Consumer cyclical. Communication services held up. Financials still down. So nothing has shifted or changed much by way of what we tend to look at. Just a quick glance. We're coming into late June. It tends to grind out sideways and then even drop towards the end of June before possibly giving ourselves a nice little bounce from the end of July through August. So July tends to be pretty good, but we're already halfway through the worst months. Then August and September, not great. And then, you know, strength more towards the end of the year. Yes. Nothing's changed. I'm going to just, maybe we'll have time to come back to this. I'll tell you this, nothing has changed. You know, technology still leading, communication services right there. Consumer discretionary has moved into a somewhat of a leadership position as well. Okay, let's get a quiz. Get my mouse to work. There we go. SPY. So we've gotten a good amount of it back, right? We're right back where we started. Let's go into a 5-minute chart. We opened, it ran up, stalled, fell, broke the opening range, sat down for a while, got back to the opening range. Okay, I'm gonna go pretty tight. A. B. C. Do you think it's going to get above 418.50? The buyers are going to close it down and push it back to the daily high. You're an A. Do you think it's going to grind it out sideways and basically end up where we started or near it? You're a B. Do you think it's going to fall back into the prior range? You're a C. Hello, LK. Good to see you. Fred is a B. Dennis is a B. LK, C. Jacques is a C. Phil is a C. You know what? I'm feeling like the buyers are gonna come in. They're gonna try to do their thing. I'm gonna go into the A territory. I'm gonna say A. It's gonna have a little bit of a bullish finish. Carmen says C. That it's going to drop back down. Anyone else? Brad is a B. Anybody else? Okay. B for Randall. Congress will vote. Stella, is there a vote scheduled? Is there a vote scheduled, Randall? I wasn't sure if that had been pushed yet. Tonight. Got it. Ooh. Oh no, 12:30 p.m. Pacific. That's like in 3 minutes. So they're gonna vote in 3 minutes or not till tonight? We need confirmation. Someone give me clarity on that. First vote will be 12:30 p.m. Pacific, but they'll continue negotiating. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm interested to see, like, are they, that's in 3 minutes. If they put it out there and it passes, certainly the market could pop. I'm surprised they would do that in the last 30 minutes of a market. Fascinating. Fascinating. Let's get rid of this. First vote is only to proceed, not a final vote. See, I'm probably not as well versed on the procedural aspects that as I should be. I just sit in the background and bitch and moan and complain. It's the American way. That's my favorite approach. So, okay, procedural vote first, and we move on. Got it. Okay, let's go forward. So it still could be interesting. Even that procedural vote still could be interesting. Okay, something important to talk about. Let me get to it. Here's the 6 month. Now, If you're a watcher of divergences, you'll notice that we got a new high on the SPY, right? New high, higher high. Okay. VIX. So the market is at a higher high, and you would think, oh, look how confident the market is. No. But no. This is the current channel. So how am I scoring the VIX right now? A 0, because I have, if I draw the lines that I have, it's flat. But it's expanded. It's a broader range. We keep popping up, and now I have the potential for a higher low setup. Let me show you what I mean. We popped up, we've come back down, and as the market made a new high, the VIX did not make a new low where you're like, look how confident, look how good everybody feels. They don't necessarily feel that good. They're a little bit stalled out here. So if tomorrow, we have another sideways day or even a bad day, but my concern is if we see this happen, this is going to turn, and this is going to be a higher low, which for me means hedge. Get it on. I don't like that at all, right? My preference would be to see this thing come all the way back down to the bottom, then come up, then make a lower high. If we saw that lower high, I'd be like, oh, goody, look, we're feeling more bullish. But that's not what's setting up right now. What's setting up right now is this potential higher low. So from here to here, I'm worried that this escalation could kick us up into the mid-20s. And then come back down, and then another one. Vic, shouldn't you score it slightly negative as it is sideways, but keep relative high value? Honestly, I'm just looking at it. In fact, it was actually still slightly bullish for me because I had been scoring it like this, looking at that as an anomaly until last week. Last week is the first time that it busted a second time, and then it kicked into this. So my score went from a 1 to a 0.5 to a 0. So it's not negative in its score, but it's negative in its momentum. So I think we're only slightly off in how we perceive it, Jacques, if that makes sense. So I'm scoring based on how do I draw the current lines now. But certainly, I have to recognize that the momentum has declined. This is one of the weaker aspects of the market, in my opinion. And this being one of the weaker aspects is concerning because this is one of the things that I rely on the most. Absolutely. So if you went slightly negative, I would have no argument at all for that. Randall gave me a little extra FYI. Before a bill in the House can be put to a vote, a simple majority must approve the rules for debate on it. Traditionally, members of the party in the minority always vote against the rule, even if they plan to vote in favor of the actual legislation. And why wouldn't they? Because they're a bunch of yahoos who want to create processes and logistics that make it as hard as possible to actually get something done. That makes perfect sense. Market may rally if it you're 100% right. If it passes without that traditional all Republicans vote for it and no Democrats vote for it because they're the ones in control. But if it does something else, then maybe we just have normal, right? Like, oh, okay, we move forward. Maybe it rallies if we see like I don't know. Like, I'm hearing that there may be some fringe Republicans who don't like it, and certainly some fringe Democrats who don't like it. So I don't know. It's so hard. Like I say, I should have a better handle on it, but I have such a hard time paying attention to politics without losing my mind. I'm sure it's just me. I'm sure the rest of you love politics. You're just like, oh, I love it. I love hearing about the misgivings and inadequacies of our government. Okay, let's keep going. Let's get to the watch list. I'm concerned. If I put this hedge on, I will also start tightening up my bullish perspective, meaning take some profits if they're there, tighten up some stops, maybe hold off on any new trades because you're like, let's see how this plays out. Standard stuff. Okay, the watch list. Alcoa materials just continue to get lower and lower. If there's an argument for inflation easing up, it's most definitely the fact that our basic materials stocks are showing continued and ongoing decreases in prices. Apple looks magical. I have a trade on Apple from back here. I took half off today. And got about 100%. Anyone else in Apple? Apple's certainly one. This should be your third or fourth trade. We've been watching Apple since back in here this was our first higher low, and we're like, ooh, Apple again. Apple looks great. It's not. I can't get in now. Obviously, it's already moved for 5 days. I think it's coming to an end. It may keep going higher, and if it is, I'll be glad I still have half on. It may drop, but if it does, I'll be glad that I sold half, and then I'll look to get rid of the other half. ADI. Oh, ADI. I'm actually bouncing that. I thought I already did. AMD and Nvidia. I'm not going to ride with this one anymore. I would actually say Intel may be trying to come back into the fold. Maybe we need to pull up Marvell or Taiwan Semiconductor for an old time's sake. But no, I'm not a fan of ADI. Looks like it's maybe going to run out of steam soon. Old support. New resistance. Boeing's very sideways. Boeing somehow just like convinces me to keep watching, even though look at this trend. It's done nothing for the entire year, basically. BLDR tried. It tried, and it's just not working. If you tried on this one, I don't love this. I'd probably be calling it. Taking a small loss, moving on, moving out. CMG, nothing there. I'm a little bit leery now with this little basing pattern that it seems to be stuck in. ConocoPhillips, still nothing there for me. Costco. Oh, Costco. Costco had a good earnings report. Kicked it back up to this old resistance around 512. What would make me want to trade Costco? If it drops back without crossing this midpoint, I'd say about 495. 495, this rolls back down. I will find joy there. Until then, I will be patient. I will wait and make sure yeah, we'll make sure. Okay. Let me get rid of. I'm sorry. I'm having such weird issues with my drawing tools. It's stuttering me as I'm talking here. All right. Next. CPRT. I'm actually getting rid of that from my watch list. I don't love it. It failed to move. Yeah, not really loving how that looks. DBC, commodities, new lows, DIA, Dow. like I said, everything defensive is not looking good. We'll see the ETFs when we get to the end of the list. FCX is down. Materials are down. FedEx, you can see FedEx is breaking this support level. It's about to get kicked off the watch list as well. FXI, China. So I said, I'm not a big China fan, even when it tries to convince us what's China doing now. China is now in a bear market. They're down 20% and counting. So if any of you do like the Chinese stocks, make sure that you're very careful with that. Yes. Make sure you're careful with it. That's all I'll say about that. GE, I don't like that. I closed this morning. I liked it. I took it, and then it stalled, and now that it's dropping back down, small loss, moving on. Is Bob here? Bob, are you here? You in this one? I don't know if Bob's here or not. Nope. No, Bob. Yeah. Nothing there for us. Gold. I think gold looks like it's on a downward consolidation. Google. I think Google still needs a consolidation. IWM. Sideways. Not much there. Jets. I'm still trying to find the best places. As of now, I would say Amazon is where I like retail the best. I just need it to pull back now. Right? That's that needs to come back down. Got the trade here. Took some profit yesterday. That was a quick one. Now what? Now waiting for the next signal. I'm looking for the next one around 115 to 118. So great. Be patient. Let it pull back. McDonald's was retail. Not much. Almost wanted to give a signal. Actually gave a signal, but invalidated itself the next day. Now it's been dropping. Nothing there. I think we need new consumer discretionary stocks to watch. That's what I think. Meta looks great. I traded one move. Didn't get this last little piece. It was just a one-day consolidation. Wasn't conducive to what I'm looking for. Now what? Now I got to wait for it to pull back. I'm thinking same thing. Maybe as low as 238 to maybe 245, somewhere in there. It seems like it would be a reasonable target set. Okay. Marvell absolutely obliterated their earnings. Now it's on a pullback. Let's see. So Marvell was already there. Let's see what Taiwan looks like. Taiwan Semiconductor. Very similar. So a lot of them look the same, where they've just blasted off. There's NVIDIA. Now what? Well, make sure you trade the leaders. Don't trade into the consolidation. Wait for it to be done and ready to, move back in. And go from there. Okay, what else? Microsoft is great. We want to trade. I want to trade more of it. I know you guys do too, right? We all want to trade these more. So be patient. We got to wait for them to come back now. Apple, Microsoft, NVIDIA, any other chip stocks. There's just Amazon. They're all in this overextended place. Great. Let's be patient. They'll come back. Netflix overextended. He's come back. NVIDIA starting to come back. Oracle overextended. Right? We had a window that started late last week. It's not a long window, but nothing has been. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but my time frame has been 2 to 5 days, basically for the last 3 months, 2 to 5 days. On day 5, if I haven't already, I'm selling at least half. And if it doesn't give me anything after that, I'm going to sell the other piece, because 2 to 5 days is all this thing is producing for us at any given time. Great. Well, let's trade what the market gives us and not look for anything more or less than that. Pulte Homes, I'm iffy on this one. It was a grinder, and then all of a sudden it sold off, and now it's just in this weird little basing pattern. I don't love this little basing pattern that it seems to be in. Just this little like, I don't know, nothing there yet. Okay, I'm gonna ask you, Randall, because you've been a great source of information, or if anyone else knows, like, is that news passed yet? Like, how long does a vote even take? Is it simultaneous, or do they go one at a time? And that's where we see people walk up and do like dramatic thumbs down. If there's been any progress on that vote, no TV in your office. I know what the status is. We would love for you to pass that on and talk about it. Yes. Okay. QQQ. Overextended. Needs to pull back. Silver kind of getting beat up on a very brief consolidation. Semiconductors look amazing, but they look like they're consolidating. So we just have to be patient and wait for them to come back. I'll tell you this. If there was one trade that I saw, I'll throw it at you. Let me show you the one that I'm like, okay, this looks reasonable. DKNG DraftKings. I'm trying to remember now. Is that considered consumer? It is, right? I'm going to look. Hold on. I'm going to look. Consumer discretionary. Yeah. See, I wanted something better. It appears the House has opened the debate on the matter, unknown when the vote will be called or the length of the vote. Okay. All right. That's fair. Discretionary, new high. It pulls back. It pulls back on muted, less than average volume. It's sitting on a new support level, higher than the previous, not by a lot, but higher still. Stochastics is here. Green candle tomorrow? I probably would. I like this. I would definitely think about adding this one. Nothing else though. There's nothing else I'm seeing. Yes. Okay. What time is it? Where are we in the watch list? DraftKings. Oracle, PHM, Silver Semiconductors, SPY. Ooh, it looks like the buyers are coming in. Somebody voted A. Does anyone remember who it was? That's right. It was me. Oh, the buyers trying to smash it. It was 418.50 or higher. 418.50 or higher. Can the buyers hang on, or are the sellers going to come back and make a mockery of me doing a little bit of a victory dance too early? Probably the second one. But we'll see. What else? That helps the VIX stay down for now, but we're knocking on the door. UNG, natural gas, just can't seem to find its way. It's going to happen at some point, but not yet. Here is the VIX. The VIX is fine. It's sitting down at 17, but still, nothing I want. I don't want to see this thing start to pop back up. Yeah. Carmen asked if I can do PFE. Of course, plenty of time. Always time for you. PFE. Oh, well, looky. Yes, this is a wonderful looking reversal pattern. What are the elements I'm seeing here? First, I see this consolidation line. And what do I first want to see? I want to see the buyers do a little smash and grab. Bam! They smashed in. Smash and grab complete. Then what? Then we wait for the sellers because you can see they only lasted for 2 days. And then they're like, oh, shit, we're a little tired. Well, of course you are. You just did a smash and grab. They rest. It comes down. Now what? Now we have a higher low that is turning today. Magnificent. Magnifique. It's a big candle. It's up 3%. But, this thing, maybe this is where you think, I think this could make its run on up to 42. 4 points. How much do I have to risk for those 4 points? Well, I put a stop down here, 36, something like this, 36. It's about $1.50 away. Can I risk $1.50 to get 4? Yes, I like it. Now, it's in healthcare. Healthcare is doing pretty well today. Healthcare had been doing somewhat poorly. But that is most definitely a classic reversal pattern. In my opinion, that's what needs to happen for something to reverse. So I like that. Very nice. Look what happened. The SPY, the market's like, oh, Scott, you silly fool, opening your mouth and bragging about the buyers coming in. Boom. This is where I bragged right here at the top of this candle. And then the market's it. I love it. So fun. XLF financials. I keep thinking there may be something there, but not yet, right? But not yet. Industrials just kind of look lackluster. Staples. It's in the garbage. It's green today. It's bullish today, as is utilities. They're both like, oh, we're up 1% when everything else is down. Well, yeah, because you've been getting the crap kicked out of you and you finally got a little bit of a piece. But is that enough for me to be like, hey, looky, we got something here? Absolutely not. It's still just, there's nothing there yet. I don't see anything defensive. I don't see any money flow into defensive sectors. The sector rotation is clearly still oriented mostly in a bullish fashion. That's both from the staples and the utilities, right? When we look at our sectors, this is our third sector, the third leading. Consumer discretionary still looks bullish. Looks like it could be setting up. Okay, confirmation that everything we're thinking is still intact. XLC, our second position sector, is communication services. Looks great. Looks like there's a consolidation, possibly in order. That confirms. Number one sector, technology. Wow, like a madman. Look at that accelerate. It's overextended now. It's pulling back. That's still where the money's going. That's still where I'm looking to trade. Yes. There's not much else that has shown up other than that. So for me, it's status quo. So let's kind of summarize everything. Okay. Number one, are we still bullish? The answer is yes, I am. I'm a 2.5, right? Which is like right at the verge of transitioning from the bullish end of neutral to slightly bullish. I've been there for a little bit. It's improved. I'd like to see the VIX work it out. But overall, if I'm looking for trades, I'm looking for bullish trades. I'm not looking for bearish trades unless I get a signal to hedge, and then I'm definitely going to. And that signal is definitely on deck, and I'm watching for it. right now I'm focused more on managing existing bullish trades that were put on late last week. And they are all making money right now for the most part, right? There's really nothing not doing well in the groups. Consumer discretionary, communication services technology is where I'm going to continue to look for opportunities. I don't have enough data yet to suggest that I might be looking the other direction for more bearish trades. This is definitely you know, an important aspect. So, questions, comments, concerns. We know there's an enormous binary event just looming right now. And if it gets through this procedural vote, and then they get to an actual will this pass vote tonight and they take it, that will have a dramatic influence tomorrow. If it passes, expect the market to rally. If it doesn't pass, expect the market to continue in its consolidation, which once again, that's not really a bad thing. That's bringing some of these really nice stocks that we probably just traded back into a tradable position. Yeah, let's go. Are micro and penny stocks affected by this? I would imagine so, yes. I mean, whatever the general market gets, those tend to be high beta stocks. They tend to react more violently to either side. So a lot of times you'll see beta stocks with a 2, 3, 4 beta ratio, meaning if the market's up 1%, they're up 2, 3, 4%, or down 2, 3, 4%. It tends to magnify whatever the market's doing, just due to its low-priced nature. Great question, much appreciated. All right, well, I'm gonna go call it. I haven't looked at it for a while. I don't know what's going on. What is going on? Oh, the sellers came back in. Sellers, you dirty bastards. Oh gosh, look at this. This has fallen all the way, so it was an ultimate juke. It said, look, Scott, you're winning. And then it dropped back into here, and all the bees were like, no, it's us. And now it's fallen all the way through it. We were only looking at 418. It's down to 417.74. Therefore, I do declare that, and yes, my southern accent is Foghorn Leghorn, the rooster from the Warner Brothers cartoons. Yeah, yes, he likes to declare things. But I am going to declare C's the winner. C's, you smarts. Congratulations. B's, you did pretty good, but try harder next time. A's, whoever you might be, yeah, you missed the mark. Better luck next time. All right, well, listen. And now the market's going to make a mockery of me by popping back up into the C's. You'll have a valid argument, C's, if it's there. I will see you guys Friday morning. Have a great Thursday. Relax, refresh, come back on Friday morning, ready to discuss. It's doing it right now. Everybody's a winner except for A. No, we won't even know still, huh? It's good to see you. I think you're magnificent people. I can't wait to hang out with you again on Friday morning. Join me for coffee, market talk. We'll wax philosophically about trading psychology, and we'll see where it puts us. Thanks again, everyone, for coming out. Have a great rest of your night. As always, happy trading.